We're always worried about what's going on in somebody else's mind. You know, what is the other person thinking? Why are they thinking like that? My partner is depressed. He's in a bad mood. She's in a bad mood. What's disturbing her? What have I done to disturb them? And we try fixing people. You can't. You know you can't. You've all tried it. So what should you do? Stop thinking so much about them. And start thinking about what you should keep in your mind, the healthy thoughts. And by you keeping the healthy thoughts, by you keeping your peace, and not taking in somebody else's negativity, you can do much in your life. But it's hard to do. That takes a lot of tapas, a lot of burning, a lot of suffering before you can do that. It's not easy. But with all these practices, day after day after day after, when you get so fed up, you say, I don't even want your nonsense, do what you like, I'm going to my world. You see, we have this habit that we chase after people to make them well. And my master taught me a great lesson. You know, when I say, in the early days, I think I've told you this story many times, when I first started doing counseling and, oh, Gurudev, I helped this one, and this one found this, and that one found, and I. And he said to me, you know, Nalanie, you can help no one. Help yourself. I cried for 5 hours after that. But it was a great lesson, because it's true. And it's really good when you realize that. What you can do is share. So, you know, you can inspire yourself, and service is joyful when you expect nothing in return. When you're saying, I'm helping someone, then mentally, there's a connection. You want something back from them. There's like this, you know, I'm helping you. And subconsciously, you're thinking you deserve something back. When you just do it for the sake of doing, I can help no one. So I help you today. You like it? Great. You don't like it? Also great. Doesn't affect me. I become clear. Do you know what I'm saying? I really can help no one. I can advise, I can tell them what to do, but can I help anyone? Absolutely not. The secret in healing is teaching people to help themselves. And this is the course you're doing, the sutras. It's so valuable. It really is so valuable, because here are all the tools to help yourself. And Sri Patanjali tells us over and over and over again that it takes time. Practice becomes firmly grounded when? Long time without a break with all your heart. And how does what is practice? Effort? So what is your job? Keeping your mind balanced. Exactly what he's saying. Steady, balanced. And how do you do that? Not focusing on other people's problems. And you may say to me, oh, Nalanie, but my partner at home is giving me so many headaches. Don't give that person so much attention. Become independent in the relationship. Don't be clingy. Don't be clingy. You know, you don't want to work it, you don't want to do it. I tried, I love you, I want to pick you up, I want you to be happy. You don't want to be happy? Well, I'm not going to be miserable, because there's not going to be two miserable people in this home. The home doesn't deserve it. You want to be miserable? Be miserable. Okay, even for a few weeks, if you have to sleep in separate rooms, do that. You know, Gurudev actually told this couple in the ashram, they loved each other a lot. But there was a time when they would not balance, both of them arguing all the time. So he actually told them, why don't you just stay in separate rooms for a little while, get some space, and don't talk. Don't talk to each other. If you really need something in the house, you write notes. And so, you know, all the anger, everything, the first few days, everything was very angry, you know, in the notes and banging and this. But after 4 or 5 days, because they were practicing Mona, which is silence, the practice of silence with each other, what happened? It was all in the mind, so they could see what their mind was thinking. And before spitting out horrible words when you're angry, the notes started to be really much nicer. Could you pass me the toast? Could you pass me the butter? Do you know? No, it's okay. I'll tip you. I know.
Because it's like holiday today.
Oh, of course, it's a holiday today. Is it very bad? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yes, it's a holiday. Well, the kids are off school, at least my grandkids are. Yeah. So, yeah, the kids wrote notes. Yeah, so they were writing notes, but the notes started to become nicer. More like just everyday things, rather than blame. You did that, or you did this, and you did that, and I'm not happy with you. And so after a period of 3 weeks, both of them went to Gurudev and said, look, can we talk now? And he said, not yet, too soon. Yeah, he said, not yet. 3 weeks is easy to do. And you know what? In 2 or 3 days, you'll go back to the same thing. So because they didn't have to talk so much to each other, both of them started to work in the ashram, do more karma yoga, help more other people, started to think of other things to do because they didn't spend so much energy. Because you know when you argue, there's a lot of energy and you become extremely tired when you're trying to change someone. It's very exhausting. And so they started doing their own things. And of course, they started to get happier, less arguments in the house. And within 3 months, Gurudev let them speak again. And that's a story they told me themselves. And I'm so glad that he did that because a year later and a half, unfortunately, she passed away with cancer. But at least they were sorted everything and had fixed the situation. So, you know, in life, you don't know. She told me herself that that's what Gurudev had told them to do. And I said, what a nice way. So I said, when I have people that it's can't get along, I'll just say, you know, because you really love each other. They really loved each other. But, you know, there are phases in relationships that just go bad, you know. So rather than just throw in the towel, if you still love each other, there's still a connection. So even if you split, you cannot be happy. Do you see? Because the connection is, the karma is not finished. The karma is not finished. When the karma is finished, you know it's finished. You're just really so glad you're out of my life. You know, that kind of feeling. But when it's not finished, there's still a connection. It's a good way to finish it, you know? Either finish it or come back together. And I've seen it works. It works. But like Gurudev, I gave this advice to a couple. And they actually separated for 3 months, and I went to Hong Kong. And when I came back from Hong Kong, they'd gone back together and lived together, and I go, why did you go back so soon? I said, too soon. I said at least 6 months. Why did you go back so soon? Because I knew they both were working on themselves, but 3 months was too little to work on themselves. Luckily, they had no children. So easy to do when you have no young children. You know, no children. And no children. So what happened was, of course, they got along beautifully for 2 years. And after 2 years, the same thing happened again. So this time I said, I can't help you anymore. You have to do what you have to do. So they split, but not very nicely. It's very sad. It's very sad when sometimes you can prevent things. But, and one is still bitter today after 6 years. And I go, what's the point of and the other one's still miserable and moody. So I go, were you happier when you were together? Are you happier now? You're the same. No difference. So better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. But you know, sometimes this is it. It's hard, you see? It's hard when you're living with someone. But if you can bear it, take the 24 hours. Because if you didn't, like Gurudev said, when the pot is too hot, you'll drop it. You won't even ask. And things will happen for you. Life will happen for you to separate it. Life will happen to work it out. You know, you just have to keep yourself joyful, happy, peaceful, and easeful. And this is why I love the yoga practices. There it tells you. And it tells you that while you're doing it, accepting pain for
purification.
You know your sutras. This is revision. Huh? Yeah. And what else? Accepting pain for purification. What is Kriya Yoga? Study of spiritual books and surrender to God or surrender to the universe, or in modern language, go with the flow. Surrender, let go, let God. Or let go, let universe. Let the universe. See how they all three go together. Isn't it clever in the story of this? You see, you have to go through tapas. Don't think this is easy. It's telling you, you have to accept the pain for purification. It's telling you. While you're doing that, do the practice of swadhyaya. Study lots of spiritual books. Why? Distract the mind from the pain that you're feeling. Read uplifting books. Distract your mind. And finally, surrender to God. I cannot change anybody. I did my best. I can't do any more. I tell you the story of when my husband was smoking, and every day I was breaking my head, stop smoking, stop smoking. And finally, one day I just had enough. So I knew I loved him, whether he smoked or not. I said, I'm sick and tired of hearing my angry voice. It's not fun to be angry and irritated, is it? It's horrible. I didn't want to hear myself. I didn't like myself like that. So I just went into my temple and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed so hard. Dear God, this is not my problem. Your child. You look after him. I'm not nagging anymore. You know what? I'm just doing my own thing. And every time he smokes, I'm going to leave the room because I can't breathe. And then by itself, after that prayer, my father calls me up, said, darling, I want to buy you a home, da-da, da-da. So I got a bigger home, and when we moved to the new home, guess what? My husband himself said, I'm not going to contaminate the house with cigarette smoke. I'll smoke in the balcony. 5 a.m. in the morning, because he didn't sleep much. Go out into the balcony, freezing cold with his gown and his overcoat and smoke. And if you want to do that to yourself, fine. Fine. So he wasn't smoking in the house, so I was happy. There's nothing else I could do. You can't do anything. And then a few years later, my granddaughter was born, 3 years later, and by himself he gave it up. It was his time. So I let go of the tapas, surrender, and during this time, this help. Sri Patanjali, help. Bhagavad Gita, help. Sri Ramakrishna, help. Swami Vivekananda, help. All these books, help me. I'm going through tapas. I don't like it. I don't like the feeling, But you don't like it, and you're going through it, and you just go through it. And it too will pass, and it all passes. Huh? Are you too hot again? Yes, I'm really could you switch just a red button in the middle? I know, it's really getting energy, a lot of energy in this room. So that's surrender to God.
Tapas, yeah.
Yeah, tapas. And that is surrender to God, right? And that is the meaning of surrendering. Just letting go. I can't do it anymore, I did my best. I also can't leave because I love him. So what am I going to do? But at the same time, do my work. Focus on good. Don't focus on his cigarette smoking all day long. Why am I contaminating my mind with that thought? He's smoking. Oh, what a waste of energy and time. You know what? You smoke, I'm having fun. So, and this is the only way you can do it, And it's not easy. We all have a battle in life. And that's what Sri Patanjali tells us. He said, but the way to freedom, the Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali, the way to freedom is what? He gives us the clue. In Sutra 2, what does he tell us? The restraint of the modification of the mind stuff is yoga. In Sanskrit, this one you have to know in Sanskrit, okay? I'll tell you what you have to know. Not much. People are studying more than you need, all right? Don't worry so much. The exam is really easy. When you see the paper, you will say, oh my God, it's so easy. Why did I worry so much? You know yourself. And so that's the restraint. So there we are learning to restrain. Can you just close your eyes for a minute and take a deep breath? Can you close your eyes a minute and take a deep breath? Ask yourself, Which unhappy thought keeps coming back into your mind over and over and over again? I want you to see that thought really clearly. Don't judge it. Just see it. Feel that it makes you feel in anguish. Feel it. Feel the anguish. And now I want you to go back to a time when we were all sitting here one Tuesday and somebody had asked me a really intense question and I was giving the answer, and while we were really involved in thinking about the answer, I want you to remember this scene. Shanti goes, "Oh, by the way, there's soya milk." Do you remember? "Oh, by the way, there's soya milk." Nothing to do with spiritual. Okay, what practice did we just do there? That's it. Pratipaksha bhavana. By replacing negative thoughts. You see, you don't fight with the thought of anguish and anger. Don't. "Oh, I'm not yogic. I shouldn't think this. I shouldn't think this." You are thinking it, sorry. And it doesn't make you unyogic. It's just there. It doesn't make you bad. It's just there. So, you don't feed it. You don't give it energy. What does Sri Patanjali say about evil or wicked?
Disregard the wicked.
Disregard your own wicked thoughts. Disregard it. Disregard your own thoughts. Don't give it energy. And if it's difficult, think of a funny scene. Because if you think of a funny scene, it just really, really makes you laugh. You know? And there are many funny stories that we can tell. And we're going to write a book of Shanti stories, and she said she wouldn't mind. Because, you know, she really has made us laugh so much through the ages, and we're so grateful. In Cornwall, we did the same. Everybody was really, really serious, and 90% of the people left, and we had about 12 people stayed over on the Sunday night after the retreat. And we all stayed in this little cottage in the middle of the countryside in Cornwall. And she started with one thing, and then the whole night we couldn't stop laughing. You know, it was and the retreat was, you know, learn, live, and laugh. You know, so it was a perfect end to a beautiful retreat where everybody left laughing and full of joy, and all that nonsense that was in the head when they came, you know, all the problems with partnership, all the problems with children, all the problems with their jobs, all the problems that they had, that weekend dissipated, was gone. Was gone. And in fact, that weekend, we had a lot of people with problems with their parents. Relationship with parents came up for some reason that weekend. And then we had James Abbott. I don't think you know him. Some of you, the people in Gibraltar, do. He's a young boy that raps beautifully. And you know, I had heard him in Gibraltar, so I asked him. I said, "Would you rap for the group?" You know, and he rapped, and the song that he rapped was all about his relationship with his dad. And at the end of it, he goes, "Dad, I know that we don't get along, whatever, but you know, I love you, man. You're my dad." Suddenly, when he finished rapping, the whole room started crying. I'll ask him to rap one day. It's amazing that it really, if you have a problem with your mum or your dad, you wake up to it. He talks about mirrors and seeing each other, and you know, it's really he has a power. He's young, he's only 23, but he has a power in his voice that moved everybody. And suddenly I realized that so many people in the room were carrying bad relationships with their father or their mother. It was really interesting how things work out. And that weekend, a lot of them went back and said, "You know what, we're going to make peace no matter what." Because whatever it is, even though you're angry, even though they've done something with you, hurtful to you, what's the point to carry it after so many years? What's the point to carry it? Who suffers? And then when they die, you love them so much anyway, you're not going to be able to deal with it. The guilt, the pain. And talking about death, I must let you all know, please pray for Prashanti Terry. She won't be taking the exam this Saturday. Her father passed away. So she's in England and the funeral's next week. So she's staying in England for the funeral. I just got an email from her now. So, but she said she's very happy in a sense because he was sick and he's old, but they all let him go. They all allowed him to go, and it was a beautiful death, and all the family was there. And she spoke to him a few minutes before he passed away on the phone. She didn't get there in time, but she had gone there 2 weeks earlier for treatment, so she had already seen him. So all the goodbyes were done. So everybody's peaceful. See, it's really important to make peace with everybody all the time. Even though it's hard, just make the peace. And if they don't want it, let it be on their head. You make peace and say, I don't want peace. Like, for example, one time it happened to me. I said to someone, I said, you know, this is such a silly thing. It's been going on, this rife has been going on for years. If I've done anything to hurt you, forgive me. But let's make peace for the sake of everyone. And she said, no. Okay, you really don't want peace? No. Okay, be it on your head. So, what do you do then? Disregard. You can't force them, I want peace, I want peace. No, you don't want peace? Very clearly, no. Okay, no problem. What can you do? Some people are like that, they don't want peace. So don't keep it there. Your loss, not mine. Oh good, now I don't have to try anymore. Yippee! So, I realized that in time, that person didn't even exist in my mind anymore. Gone. Because you give it no energy. No energy. It doesn't mean good, bad, disregard, disregard, disregard. Sometimes when people don't want to make peace with us and we force them, that's also not good. Gurudev said, if you love someone and they don't love you, what should you do? What should you do? You love someone, they don't love you. Do you know what? Yeah, you go. You don't love me, go. I deserve somebody who loves me. I don't deserve to be with somebody who doesn't want me. You really don't want me? Go, be free. That's not attachment. Oh, can you leave me? You don't want me, you want somebody else? Take the road. And that takes a lot of confidence in yourself. Because you know what? I want to be with somebody who really loves me and cares for me. I deserve that. Self-worth. Self-worth. Don't sell it. Door's there, you go. You're not happy? Go. So that's what he said. They don't love you? What can you do? You just have to laugh. So let's go back to Sri Patanjali. Do you have any questions before we go the quick revision?
Yes.
Yes.
The 5 riddhis.
Yes.
There was the sleep.
Yes.
I don't understand that.
Oh, okay. All Sri Patanjali is saying that even while you're sleeping, there are thought patterns going on in your mind. As you know, there's the dream state.
Yeah.
And even when you get to the state where you don't remember your dreams, where there is nothing, there must have been something, because you get up in the morning. Let's say you don't remember your dreams, you don't remember anything, right? But you get up in the morning, what do you say? I slept really well. So even that is seeing yourself sleeping. Do you see? That's what he's saying in that book. But really, in a sleep state, there's a lot of things happening, right? There's still vrittis going on in the sleep state. That's all he's saying. The vrittis there too, and many of you know it in the form of dreams, right? How many times you have a dream and you play it in your head? Sri Patanjali also talks to us in the oars, which I didn't teach you when I was here, about visions that you see in sleep, right? And he says, how should you meditate sometimes if you're looking for something to meditate if you've had a beautiful dream or vision of a deity. How many of you have dreamt of Gurudev? How many of you have dreamt of, you have? Quite a lot of people have had dreams, huh? Of your own spiritual masters, whoever they are. You know, you could have a different one. Or dreamt of Lord Jesus, or maybe just dreamt of receiving a message. A really nice message, haven't you? Have any of you had dreams of getting really nice messages that you remember? Has everybody had that experience?
Not me.
Thomas goes, yes, he remembers. Yeah? Wow, I get lots of those dreams. Really nice messages, you know? And then when they're so beautiful, you get up in the morning, you feel so happy. It's a vritti, right? So even in sleep, there are mental modifications, there are thoughts.
So it means that we're not supposed to believe in those dreams? Or because there's lots of people who talk, oh, I had a dream about my future and they believe that it's going to happen. Or
sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's just something we have to, something in our subconscious that we're living or fearful of or desiring, and it comes up in our dreams. And sometimes the dream is just a dream, and has no meaning. And sometimes it is, you can get dreams that foretell things. I remember when I was doing choreography and a dance teacher, I used to get the whole choreography in a dream. All of it. I just thought everybody else did. I thought it was normal. I thought everybody did that. But then I realized when the London School of Ballet came out, she said, the teacher came to see me and she said, how do you get all your choreography in a dream? I said, oh my God, don't you draw it down little figures and and work on it for days? I said, no, I get it in my dream and I teach it. I'd never heard that before, and that's when I realized that it was a gift.
Is it not because when we are dreaming, then our mind is calm automatically? So then we are in a state of more the real, the self, and therefore subconscious. But your higher self more than
you're more creative when your mind is peaceful.
So,
yes.
Exactly. So therefore, you can really work with your dreams as well, which they send you messages from your higher self.
Correct.
To deal with your day-to-day problems in life.
Also your lower self.
Because I used to have, even in my work, an issue that I didn't know how to resolve it, professionally with a client or whatever. And you know how they say, there's a Spanish saying which is to consult it with a pillow, which means to go to bed and then when you're asleep, you resolve it. And very often, in the middle of the night, while I was asleep, I'd wake up and I'd have the solution.
Wonderful.
And I would write it down, and the next day I would try to work on it, and it worked. So,
so you see, you work like me. You get a lot of answers in your dreams. Absolutely, yes.
I don't know, but I've heard quite a few people that have this thing about 3 o'clock, 3 or 4 or something like that. It's like a wake-up call. Check the alarm clock next time you wake up.
All right.
3:33 for me. Yes. Yeah, Mary.
Nalanie, there's something which I think is so extraordinary. I'd like to share it with everyone. I read it in the paper a few months ago. Paul McCartney, when his mother died, they asked him who would he like, if he could go back in time, who would he like to spend more time with? And he said his mother, because he never got to know her because she died when he was 14. And his mother came to him in a dream. This is before he started, I think, playing the guitar or something. His mother came to him in a dream, and she said, let it be, go with the flow, don't fight against it, and everything will work out. And he woke up the next morning, and he wrote the stone, let it be. And I always thought it was a religious thing when he said, Mother Mary came to me. But it wasn't Mother Mary, it was his mother who came to him in his dream and gave him the direction for his life. That's a true story.
Isn't that beautiful?
Amazing.
It is a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing. And I love that song.
I love it.
We'll sing it later. Who can sing here? Audrey's not here. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. That's a lovely story.
Now I would say that when says, how can I, solve this problem? I said, just let it be.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. That's the yoga practice. Surrender to the highest. Let it be. So why don't you all sing it?
Can I just say,
Yes.
regarding Paul McCartney, the song Yesterday came to him in a dream as well. And he thought the whole song, all of it, and he was like, where did this come from? I've heard it somewhere. So he went to all his friends and John Lennon, all of these, singing it, saying, have I copied someone? Because, no, they said, it's great, it's great. So he wrote it down, and in a dream, all of it, boom.
You see, so he had that. The same thing I had in my dreams. And all this comes from dreams, I don't know, if people tell me, how do I know things? And I go, I don't know how I know things. They just come, And I've had dreams of being in different places, being taught mantras, there are many nights I get up in the morning and I'm exhausted because I'm being taught lots of things. There are many dreams like that. I have many. Yes, Monica?
I just want to check something, exactly like what I just said. I had a couple of years ago a dream where I was Jesus, and the idea I was preaching on the hillside was about a brick wall. There was like a vision of a wall as well, one brick missing, and me, Jesus said, mankind is like a brick wall, you take away one and there is whole. And I always have problems with accepting people as they are. I think the dream was a result of my inner demons. But what I want to ask, have anybody else heard that brick wall idea? Did I pick it up from somewhere?
No, it was a dream. Like you said, that's your brick wall. You just answered yourself. You said you always have trouble accepting people for what they are.
So it's
Actually,
a unique idea.
But you got the Pink Floyd
an
song.
Indian writer, I can't remember his name.
Rumi, Tagore.
And
Ravi Chopra?
No, I'll send it to you, but they talk about brick wall. They talk about an imprisonment. And you build, it's about the ego. Do you remember that talk that I gave on ego?
Yes.
Where you actually build a brick wall and it's your false ego against your natural ego which you were born with.
No, it was about
No, the
having a solid piece of wall.
Yeah,
and
but
you
the
take
brick
away
wall,
that alcoholic.
the brick wall you create yourself, and you separate yourself to the power of possibility, the field of possibilities.
Well, that's always the representation of a brick wall, that you are not totally free, you're imprisoned. When people have one of the vision, excuse me, thank you. One of the techniques I use, talking about the brick wall, when people are very stuck in their ways, when they're very blocked, and they can't see out of their, just can't see. They're really stuck. They're in the black cloud. One of the creative visualizations I make them do is close their eyes, relax, and see this brick wall right there in their heart. And they have to get a hammer, and they have to break that wall. And it's really quite incredible. But I have watched people over a period of 6 weeks or 6 sessions. I did this practice a lot in my earlier days. And after 6 sessions, totally different. Totally different. Because they're literally visualizing. They've been so frightened, People suffer a lot and they hold a lot. And when they break down the wall, they get better. Also, a lot of people with heart disease have a brick wall. They're scared to say, I love you. They're scared to show their feelings. So they develop this wall around their heart. And I've also used this technique for people with heart disease. Tell them to visualize a nice hammer and breaking it down and freedom. And what do they see on the other side of the wall? Fields and flowers, and they can run. And so they get this feeling, oh, we broke one brick. We do brick by brick. I don't tell them to break it down too quickly because it doesn't work. Slowly. So it's, all mind stuff. This is all mind stuff. This is all mind stuff. This is great. Dreams, you see, so the sleep, how much mind stuff in sleep? Yes.
Sorry, are you breaking from the inside out or from the outside in?
It doesn't really matter, whichever you
That's
need
just
to
a
do.
logical part of it, thinking, yeah, this way or that way.
Do you know, it's
Prefer to
like,
go inside out.
yeah, follow what is
Yeah.
easier for you. I prefer inside out,
Yeah.
but many people prefer outside in. Like many people come to spirituality, how do they come? Outside in. Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga. I knew a lady who did Hatha yoga for 20 years. 20 years. She actually became a teacher of Hatha yoga. She was in England. I did a retreat in Portugal. And she happened to come to this retreat many years ago. And I had never met her. And she came to retreat. So I asked her, what brought you here to this retreat? And then she told me she'd been doing Hatha yoga for 20 years. She doesn't come from a spiritual family. In fact, very material. Very wealthy, very material. Never interested. And she said, by the practice of Hatha, she kept asking herself, there's more. There's more. I feel things in my body. There's more. Maybe there is a God. No. I'm an atheist. I come from a family who's an atheist, but there is more. And so she said she came to the Raj Yoga retreat because she knew there was more through her Hatha practices. And how many people we see at the yoga centers, they come through, many of the teachers that have come here are Hatha yoga teachers. And after a while, they need to come outside in. Me, it was inside out. My love was Raj, and then Hatha came afterwards, So it depends. So know your nature. If you work better inside out, do it that way. If you work better outside in, do it that way. See, work with what is convenient for you because you know your nature better than anyone else. So you get to know yourself. And I like that you say, I like working inside out. Always that is your technique now. So know yourself. Good question. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
I went through the obstacles of meditation, and I understand the whole from disease to dullness, doubt, callousness, laziness, but then from laziness into sensuality.
Okay.
I don't get that link.
Okay. That's really interesting. I can tell you that. Yeah. This is the nine obstacles. What do you say? It's disease, dullness,
false perception, failing to be firm ground,
slipping from ground game. Very good. You know your exam really well then. Okay. You know when a person is lazy. Okay? I don't know if you know many lazy people in your life, but I've met many tamasic people in my life, and because I've seen many people that are in total depression as well, and I'm sure you have too, and people in counseling. When their mind becomes dull and they get lazy, so they don't want to do anything. What happens? They want people to attention to stimulate their sensuality. Also, you find that they will start to do things like watch sex videos, smoke a lot, sensuality, anything to do with the senses. Yeah. And they start email, and lots of people I know start to get, relationships over the email. Don't want to work with their own relationship. Don't want to work with life. They hide behind the computer and they start to make relationships. And they get all this. I mean, I've had 2 or 3 men come to see me with this problem. And 3 women. Same problem. They get lazy, they don't want to work at life, they get depressed. And then, that's it. Easy way to get a cheap thrill over the internet. And I go, what on earth are you doing to yourself? This is a false, is it real? What have you created? This illusion. They don't want to leave their room all day long, sending these love messages back and forth. And it's all an illusion. In fact, there was this gentleman, when he first came to see me, he knew, and he knew there was something wrong. So he spoke to me about this lover that he had started to find in New York, and his wife found him out, so they both came to see me. So I said, look, this is not a real relationship. You don't even know what she's going to look like when you get there. But, so they both decided to try with their marriage, but the temptation was too great for him. And he did go to New York, And she was a mad lady, I wasn't wrong. She was really mad and crazy and liked all this wild sex and whips and I don't know, mad lady. He came back and told me, said he really regretted it, got back with his wife, she forgave him, but he became so lazy, lost his job because he went to New York, right? Got dull in the head, started with the same woman again. Can you believe it? And he left again his wife second up with that same mad woman that he told me that was mad. The laziness created this addiction of sensuality. It's really odd. People's minds are really incredibly strange. Yeah, you don't know what they get up to. So, and then it's food, sensuality. You see people who are very depressed, and because maybe they've been sick for a long time, then they get disease, dullness, they stay home, then they just want to eat all the time. That's another form of sensuality. Give me food as an addiction. That happens as well,
Is it like reaching for external power?
Yes, that's sensuality. You want things to make you happy. You want things to make you happy, yeah.
But things like shopping as well. Like
Shopping as well, any addiction. Kleptomania. Yeah.
To fill up your sense. No?
Yeah, to fill up your senses. All these addictions, all that. Because you're lazy, because in order to be happy, we have to work a little at it. It means you have to be quite unselfish. And the human mind likes selfishness. It thinks it's going to make it happy. It's all about I, me, mine, right? I'm going through this suffering. I'm doing this. So when you're in the selfish mind, you can fall easily. Being selfless, we think, is a hard thing. Don't know why, but it's actually an easier thing than being selfish. Being selfish brings a lot of misery. You can see it. When you have in your mind, you just have to look at your own mind. And you will see when you have, I want, I need, I have to have, you get, this has to change for me to be happy, this has to be changed. You're not going with the flow, you're not letting it be. You get miserable. But when you start to do something nice for someone, oh, let me help you with this, and they get happy. And then you feel, in a joy, you were useful. You were useful. And this is why I think Gurudev is so smart when he tells us we need 3 things to be well in this world. Peaceful, useful, and useful. Right? If you're not useful, you can be peaceful and easeful. We all need to feel useful in whatever way. And useful doesn't mean you have to be serving all the time outside. Charity begins at home. Be useful in home. If nothing's happening with you in the world outside, you can't get a job, and so you're getting, dull and lazy, don't sit in front of a TV. Worst thing you can do. All the suffering will come to you. Get up, learn how to cook, learn how to clean. Keep yourself busy at home. Keep yourself busy. This is a job. I've got a job. And because you're moving and you're learning to do things, it's very easy to say, I don't like to do this. Very easy. Many people don't like to do things that, who likes to do? I don't like to do the laundry too much. But now I've learned to love it sometimes. I didn't want to do it. I'll tell you the truth, because last week I had so many guests, and of course when everybody left, it was like laundry 3 piles. And then I looked at it and I go, you know what? What do I always say? Learn to love what you don't like. So very early in the morning on the Sunday, when my guests left on a Saturday, got up early, did my meditation, did my hatha yoga, full of energy, laundry time. 1 load, 2 loads, 3 loads, all done within Sunday afternoon. I felt so happy. I didn't have to carry it on to Monday. Because you have to talk yourself into things, right? But keep yourself busy. Otherwise you're going to look at it for 3 days and the load is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you get stressed. And then I loved it. And then when you finish a job, how good you feel? Oh, actually it wasn't so bad. I love doing my laundry. All the towels look so nice, they smell so nice, the room's back in order, everything is back in order. I did it really quick. Why? Because not too much mind stuff, right? So, truthfully, that's how, sometimes there are jobs you don't like to do, but you just have to do them. So you make yourself inspired, inspire your life. Okay, that's a really good question. And this is what people do. And I always say, but then do something. Charity begins at home. Do a spring clean. Start ironing everything. Start cleaning everything. Create energy. Create energy. Don't sit there, I don't have a job. Watch TV. I've sent 30 CVs out. Life is miserable. You won't get anything. You're not creating energy. Energy creates energy. You got to create it. Nobody can do it for you. You can complain all you want, but you have to create the energy. The universe, like attracts like. Don't we say that? Didn't you read that in all these books you're reading? The law of attraction. Are you attracting anything by feeling sorry for yourself there? Nothing. Of course it's exhausting when this goes on for a time. See, this is why Sri Patanjali is so clever, right? Disease, dullness, doubt. And then, of course, you're very weak. Disease comes, immediately all these things follow, and you lose ground game. So, obviously, he went through all that himself as a spiritual seeker. And we all do. Isn't that great? You're not alone, guys. We all do.
Disease, as in an illness, or
In an illness.
dis-ease?
You can use it both ways, but here it's meaning in an illness as well.
Oh, okay.
But if you're diseased, even it turns into a depression. It turns into a kind of, for me, depression is the worst illness.
No, but yeah, because I felt it that when you're diseased at something, then you become dull anyway, don't you?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. Very good
there's
point.
There's a roll-on effect.
It's a deeper, yeah, absolutely, wonderful, yeah. Yes, Oleg.
Can I just say one thing that you taught us once, that these things follow in a line. So if wherever you are on the stage, if you can see that, whoops, I'm at the doubt level. If you stop, then you can stop the rest of it going, because otherwise it would just doom. So wherever stage you are, you can turn
Bring
it up.
back.
Yeah, and just wait, what happened? I went into that, then I went there, then I went there. Stop it.
And how, so for example, if you are from failure from ground gained, so you obviously go reading books, and how
What does it tell you, the very next sutra? Accompaniment
of
yes.
the mental distractions include distress, despair, trembling of
Distress, despair, trembling of the body, and disturbed breathing. And right after that, what does Sri Patanjali tell you? Read the next
the
sutra.
practice of concentration on a single subject or the use of one technique is the best way to prevent the obstacles and their accompaniments.
And after that?
By cultivating the follow-ups. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So you're getting it? Are you understanding the sutras? There is your key to saving yourself. So as soon as you notice you're getting shaky, like some of my students, I know them, it's really nice. There are some in Gibraltar that I know. As soon as they start to bloat up, mind stuff. So I tell them, oh, how are you? I ask them purposely. Oh, Nalanie, I'm well. I said, look at that stomach. You're lying to yourself. You're bloating again. Oh. And they know now. There's about 5 or 6 like that. The moment they get disturbed, the stomach bloats up. And they put on a little weight. It's really, and then you can stop it and you go, Praktipaksha Bhavana, 4 locks and keys, what's disturbing you in your life, who are you upset with? And it's always someone, the partner, this one or that one. So fix it, you know how to fix it. Always is really interesting. So and some other people get disturbed breathing. You hear they're talking to you, and they may sound very calm because yogis get very clever after a while. They know how to hide it, and this is really good for counseling. You see some counselors come to see me as well. Not Nuria, she's brilliant. She's a brilliant counselor. But some counselors come to see me and they go, and they're talking to me very calmly like that. Suddenly I hear, they start breathing, and then they're breathing, and then you know that they're disturbed. There's something disturbing in them. And I said, look, You can't heal anyone. That's why you're getting so stressed at the moment. You're trying to counsel so many people, but you're really going through a difficult time yourself. Listen to your breathing. And they hadn't even realized they're doing it. So, just giving them a few breathing techniques, asking them to take a little time off, go to the mountains, because sometimes they carry so much and they don't even realize they're carrying it. So, then they take some time off and they're fine. It's really interesting. Watch people breathe. It gives you lots of messages. Either they stop breathing, or they breathe too much, or they go every few minutes. And you really hear it. Something's disturbing their mind. Okay? So Sri Patanjali gives you all the hints. Trembling.
And we also have someone in Gibraltar as well who we know straight away how she is because she just sit there shaking.
Yes.
That's probably not right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
But these obstacles, as far as I understood, is about meditation. These obstacles for the meditation, and because they are explaining very bit mixed.
Let's say.
I just asked because the other obstacles are the ones
Okay.
about yoga, and these ones are
Let me just explain it. In our lives, all these obstacles happen, right? In everybody's life. We all sometimes feel, even without the study of yoga, right? So try not to get so involved. As an explanation, scientific explanation for you to study as a book, I tell you these are the obstacles for meditation, and the other kleshas are obstacles for coming to life together. But you can mishmash it all, right? It's just for clarity for your exam. But otherwise, it's just obstacles. And even these can bring you back to life again and again and again. Right? It's just for clarity for exam. But all of these obstacles exist in our life. And of course, if you have an obstacle, can you meditate?
No.
Correct. You can't. Because you sit down and the first thing that's going to happen is what thought? That one strong thought I asked you to think about just now. Are you okay? Do you need a chair, Helena?
No, I'm good.
Do you need water?
No, I'm fine.
Will you let us know?
Just moving a lot.
Yeah, but if you're uncomfortable sitting in that position, will you let us know?
I'm better here than in a chair.
Wow, that's great, that's great. And do they know, Mari?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and we got another pregnant woman here. So she's pregnant as well. So we got 2 yoga babies here. So you're 4 months now, so we can say, yeah? Okay.
I'm 5.5 months now.
Oh, she's tiny. Yeah. So another yoga baby. So yeah, good questions. These are good questions. Yeah, very good questions. All obstacles will stop you from meditation. The kleshas are like the main cause of all these obstacles. Ignorance, right? For example, is the main cause for disease, dullness, doubt, all that stuff. Because if you understand that you are soul living in the body, even if you are diseased, and if you really understand that, you don't care about your disease. It's no big deal. You just say it's part of life, probably karmic. I did something bad in my last life, or maybe not something bad. Maybe this disease has come so I can teach with it, or maybe this disease is giving me compassion, right? So if you have knowledge, then these obstacles, you can just wipe them out. You don't even have to worry about them. And this is why knowledge is so important. So all of them really stop us from growing. That's all. But knowledge, like Ole said just now, if you recognize them and you see yourself in doubt, why am I doing all this studying? I must be mad. You know, how many times did I go through that journey in the first 10 years of my spiritual growth? I must be mad, sacrifice, love, give. It seems like I'm doing all the hard work and everybody's just sitting easy. And then on top of that, you get insulted, get called a witch, and, people are rude to you. I don't want to do any of this. I'll walk away. How many times have we done that? And always I used to get a message, after that. So, it's normal. It's life. These are, you have to go through the process, otherwise you won't understand. It's like a journey. You know, maybe I've gone through it, so I can tell you, look, it's really easy. Don't stay stuck in the journey. Pass it. You have to pass it. You have to go through the pain. You have to burn. I'm sorry. But now that you know, life is just part of burning, and then after the burning comes really lovely rainbows, you just get through it. Like Gurudev said, is a woman, he always used the example of a woman being pregnant. You know, you carry the baby for 9 months, you know, and then you have to go through a little tapas, pain, to get the gift, right? You have to go through the tapas. Can you say, no tapas? Well, nowadays they do epidural. Yes. Tapas means burning. You burn. When you suffer, you know, you burn up. Now there's 2 ways you can deal with your suffering. You can get angry, take revenge, scream back, or you can accept it, watch it, and ask yourself, you know, obviously there's something I have to learn from this. And when you sit back and have to learn, the ego doesn't like it. It doesn't like it, so you start to burn, you suffer. But if you can understand that it's just helping you become a better person, you take that suffering with great dignity. Yes, Steve, you have a question.
Yeah, it's about the coaches, the chiefs. I know all the names of them and that, but I don't really. I know the names of them and that, but I don't really know what we're supposed to do with them.
What, the koshas?
Yeah.
Okay, all of you know what koshas are?
Yeah.
Okay, can you say it to me? Very good. So, you know, the first one, Annamaya Kosha, is your food body. All it tells you is this is what we're made out of. This is what we consist of. And when we do these practices of meditation, thinking positive, each time we go to our deep level, right? All the great saints and sages say, we are born to be happy. I think the self-made gurus tell you, be miserable and follow me, run a mile. Because you get some like that too, huh? Be careful. But all the great sages that you know, they tell you, go forth, be happy, but do it the correct way. Do not eat the fruits of your actions. So this is like a map of your body, Annamaya. Know what you consist of. This is your first layer, your food sheath, your physical body. Then your second layer is Pranamaya, your breath body. It goes a little deeper. This is why we do the practice of pranayama. Because when the food body is disturbed and the physical body is disturbed, we use our breath body to calm the physical. Okay? Then the next one is Manomaya. So then it's the mind. So then the next layer we have is the mind, which goes a little bit more subtle, becomes more subtle. You can't now do this with your mind, but you can use the breath to help your mind. So then you work on your mind, because it's more subtle. So when a yogi will start to work on not just the food body, as most people in this world just work on their food body, right? The physical. They don't work on the deeper bodies. A yogi will work on all the different bodies. And in Sri Patanjali, we're working on the mind. It's science of the whole being, the whole mind, working on all the koshas, right? So then you have Manomaya Kosha. And then the next one is Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is your intellect. So when your intellect becomes purified by the study of spiritual knowledge, by looking at the world, even if you don't study, just examining the world and asking certain questions. You know, for example, many times I've told you I've met people who just do gardening and they can talk about the divine energy better than any people, more people that study books. Because they watch the plants grow and they watch the seasons and they see in the seed, you have the mango tree, or in the seed you have the avocado tree or the pomegranate tree. The potential is in the seed. So then with that your intellect becomes purified. When the intellect gets purified, right, then you see things far deeper than what they are. So then you can work on your mind with your intellect. You can make good decisions, purified intellect. And there, Sri Patanjali tells us in Sutra 28, Book 2, by the practice of the 8 limbs of yoga, what happens? And there dawns light of wisdom, leading to discriminative discernment. There are all your answers, right? So this is by the practice of the 8 limbs of yoga, by understanding life and nature, you will develop that discriminative intellect, discernment in your intellect in order to make the right decisions with your mind. And when you are able to make the right decisions, what happens? You lost Anandamaya kosha? You live in bliss, which is what you were born to do. But if you just work on the physical, you don't understand your mind, you don't understand your breath, you don't understand your intellect because you're in ignorance, nothing works. The whole being doesn't work. This is why doctors get it so wrong today. The original, the medicine was originally, it is the whole essence of medicine was to work on the whole person. What's his name? Hippocrates, right? What did he say? Don't ask the man what disease he has. Ask the man what diseases him. Right? What disturbs the mind. Right? Because then you know. That's how it started. And you even have as a symbol for medicine the staff and Kundalini. Do you see it? In order to heal, all these signs are there. You have the Kundalini awakening, right? So nowadays, that's why medicine gets it so wrong, because it just works on Anamaya kosha. It doesn't work on all, which is changing now. Now we're saying just don't heal the physical. You also, Dr. Dean Ornish, a disciple of Sri Swami Satchidananda, has proven you can reverse heart disease by practicing yoga. The 8 limbs. And what are the 8 limbs of yoga? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. And then you get into Anandamaya kosha. Understood the koshas?
Yeah.
So you know what's happening to you.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
Is it all clicking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see your understanding. Do you see how it all clicks into your daily life? To make sense of it? It's a perfect psychology. Yes, Mari.
So are the koshas and the 8 limbs of yoga working side by side, or do the koshas start working after the 8 limbs, after you've achieved the 8 limbs of yoga?
The koshas, let's say somebody who has, again, too much technical science book. Let's take away these science. No, this is the thing about intellectual knowledge sometimes. We tend to put things in boxes. They work simultaneously. Let's see, a person comes to me and doesn't know anything about the 8 limbs of yoga. Nothing. I'm not going to start teaching them as a spiritual counselor about the 8 limbs of yoga, right? So what I do with them, they call me a soul doctor, I will immediately go first. This is my job. Somebody else will do it totally different. And I'll ask them, what is disturbing your soul? What? Nobody's asked me that question before. What is making you so sad? Why do you keep getting these messages from your mind that you are not listening to? Yes, you keep telling me the same thing again and again and again. It's coming from your mind. So what is disturbing you? And why are you allowing it to disturb your peace? What are you asking me for? You want your peace back. And then with that, we use the 8 limbs of yoga. They don't know anything about it. I find out that what's happening, they're lying. They're not living truthfully. So they're never comfortable. They're not comfortable in themselves. The soul doesn't like the lies. I've realized that people can have no peace. 2, maybe they're stealing from a job or something. They know it's wrong, but they can't control it. when they see that, when that's open to them, it's painful for them to accept it. But then we do some creative visualization. I don't apply blame. I just tell them, look, all you need is to understand your soul a little better. And when you do these things, you don't feel comfortable. So what do you have to do? You have to stop doing those things because you're not happy with yourself. It's really quite interesting. So I go into spiritual counseling. So really, you see they're working side by side. Right? Do you see?
Yes, yes.
So, of course, when you have a really deep understanding, when you read the sutras again and again and again, year after year after year, I mean, I read the sutras for so many years and I still read it sometimes, you know, and I've taught it maybe I don't know how many times. What happens is it becomes second nature. Then you see it all fit together so perfectly. So it's just for the technician, you know. It's like, for example, a technician, when you first go to study engineering, any engineers here? You know, okay, so you know, you're an engineer, how cool is that? Did you know that? I think that's so smart. It's not something I'm smart with, so it'd be really nice to know more about it. You know, you have to study the law of physics, you have to study all the technical algebra, etc., all the technical stuff first. But then once you study it and you know it all by heart, you just put all the equations together, right? And then you understand this makes this move and that makes that move and that makes that move. But you understand, but in the beginning, you have to study it like all separately till you memorize it all. And this is Sri Patanjali. You're studying all the golden rules first, but once you learn it, throw the book away and live it. I mean, don't throw the book away because it's such a you know what I mean? Don't get so attached to it.
Give it to
And
somebody
put it,
else.
yeah, and be loose with it. Be loose with it. You know, don't say, you know, kind of don't put it into boxes. While we're teaching to get a good foundation, I have to be very strict with you and put it into boxes. But once it's like studying English grammar, right? Or Spanish grammar. You have to learn all the verbs. Once you learn all the verbs, then it's very easy to speak the language. But if you don't know the verbs, you'll always be in trouble with the language, right? Same thing. So once you know it, then you flow with the knowledge, as you've been doing tonight. Because everything you've asked, you've got the answer to by understanding it. So are you clear on the koshas now?
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't realize, I knew what they were, but I didn't understand how they were working.
Yeah, so that's how it works.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a scientist looking at the body as components, right? And then the spiritual part of it, putting it all together and making it all work, making the whole work to heal, holistic healing. Yes, Oleg?
No, would it be correct to say also that the koshas are the divine energy but on different levels? Like where the body it's slowed down, and then you come to the breathing, it goes faster, the thinking faster, and then the spiritual is really, really high.
You could say that, but it's no need. Because when you're vibrating on the spirit, it's energy you're talking about.
Energy, totally.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
can
I'm
talk
saying.
about it. You can say it, but sometimes people don't understand so much that. But yes, you could. One is deeper, more. Of course, material is heavier, right? And spirit is lighter. That's why when you meditate, sometimes, and you're deep, or you start getting deep, you sometimes go, right? Because you're getting very light. Your spirit's getting very light. It moves your body. The spirit is larger than the body. Yeah, so you can say that, absolutely. Yeah, you can say that, yeah.
And what is the function of the Anandamaya kosha? Because I can see all of them are doing something, you know what I mean? But the Anandamaya kosha
It's
is
being.
very passionate. What?
Being.
Being.
That's what we're learning to do, being in bliss. That's why we're
But
studying.
you cannot function from that kosha.
Of course you can. You can function best when you're on Anandamaya kosha. Best. Because if you're in peace and if you're in bliss within, then the mind is very empty, right? You can function so well in this world with Anandamaya kosha.
But
You're not-
transcended the bodies.
No, Anandamaya kosha is still in the body. It's still not enlightenment totally.
That's the outline.
That's Anandamaya kosha is part of your.
No, but the next one.
The next one is the Atman, one with all. Yeah,
If you like, I can send a really nice article written by Shiva Rea about the kosher, and she kind of explained it like a map with it. You know, I can send a link, which I think.
Yeah. I don't know if it helps. Why not? But I wouldn't do it right now.
No. Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to confuse up too much mind stuff. So you see, the goal in meditation. What is your goal?
Peace.
Peace. When you're in peace, are you in bliss?
Yes.
At least I am. Yeah? So, have you peace in...
But I thought it was by relaxation, the final relaxation and Hatha Yoga. You get that idea of peace. That
Yes.
You are there in some space, non-space, or you know what...
Yes.
And that's a very different feeling from the peaceful feeling when you are living in the normal
Well,
life. Like
you see,
you're happy.
when you're doing the deep relaxation, somebody's putting you there. It's for you to experience that bliss. And that's why we say after deep relaxation, one should get up and stay quiet for a little while. Stay quiet, let that feeling sink in. And you should live that feeling all day long, while you're working, while you're doing things. Then you can change your day very easily if you stay in that Anandamaya kosha. That is why we do deep relaxation. So you practice and practice and practice. So you stay in Anandamaya kosha. Then you can do your work really well. Really well. You can do many things in one day. The day becomes you very fulfilled.
Okay.
Okay? That's the idea. You get used to that feeling. And this is why, sometimes when people are really, really, really disturbed, there's not much I can do to help them, as I've told you before. Even giving them a mantra is no use. So many times I do deep relaxation. Just a few weeks ago when I got back, I had somebody who was really, really, really disturbed, falling from ground gained, right? And I realized that when you're so disturbed, you can't hear anything. So I put her in deep relaxation, and then, did Pratipaksha Bhavana, made her see how she loved being peaceful. And yes, she was going through a difficult time, but she made her see some of her difficult times in the past and how she got through them, and made her remember the last time she was so happy, reminded her of some joy, and then just thought about higher things because she was spiritual. She just lost ground game, and brought her back to her soul. When she came out, she was a brand new person. She left laughing because all we did there is remind her that Anandamaya kosha was still there. Because her mind had become so sad, she'd forgotten that there was bliss inside of her that she could bring out. She thought she could never be happy again. But when I reminded her she could be, that it lived, joy was within her, and she could see it in herself, she could be happy again. It really was so nice to see. She's such a good lady, But sometimes, you get stuck, falling from ground gained. So, that's why I say psychology par excellence. Patanjali. See, if you know it so well, then you create your own methods of helping people to heal. But you have to be so clear in yourself and not judge anybody, otherwise you can't do it. If you're too busy judging them, they did the wrong thing, or this person came to me this and they said this, I don't like them, I don't like their character. You cannot do it. And a lot of counselors do that. I don't like this person, I just have to do my job. You can't do it. You have to be in Anandamaya kosha to do it. Because you have to really, really accept people for who they are. And you can only do that if you accept yourself for who you are. And you can only do that when you know you are spirit and you live a good life with the yamas niyamas. Right? So if you live yama niyama, then you know you live, and you know that suffering is going to happen. It doesn't matter. Nobody's picking on you. It's life. That's all. Then you stay in bliss even in the suffering. Yes.
I find it really difficult to, if I don't like someone, then I don't like them. I don't know how to turn that around.
Don't have to. Why do you have to turn it around?
So that I
just
like
don't
them. Or at least accept them. But, it's like I work with someone and I just cannot stand her. And it distresses me because I don't want to feel like that.
Is she horrible to you or something?
She's, yeah, well, It could be my own perception that she's
But is she horrible? But is she horrible?
She's very aggressive. She's very
Okay,
aggressive.
so you don't like the aggression. Okay? So, but you have to work with her.
Yeah,
But you don't like her aggression. Have you talked to her about it?
yeah, and she was aggressive.
And she's aggressive. What do you do?
The thing is, initially...
What does Sri Patanjali tell you to do?
Compassion.
Yeah, and, so, yes. And is she happy?
I don't know her circumstances, but she doesn't seem to be very happy.
So you
She's
apply
quite
both
aggressive.
compassion towards...
If she's aggressive,
Perfect! You see how you're understanding your own psychology? You don't have to force yourself to like her. Don't think that. You'll never be able to do it. Because if you tell your mind, I don't like somebody, I have to like them, I have to like them, I have to... Ooh, what you resist will persist. You just say, okay, I don't like this person. This is the situation. You look at it as a scientist. Don't get involved. Okay, I really don't like her. Accept. And yeah, she's aggressive. Yeah, she's this. Have I tried? Yes. She doesn't like it. What did I say? You can't force people to like you, and you can't force them to change. So, disregard. But sometimes, feel a little sorry. She must be a little unhappy. And that's compassion, you know? But that will come naturally when you totally understand you can disregard.
That's the bit I'm finding difficult.
Yeah, that's what you have to train yourself. So apply Pratyekshapakshapatana when you see your aggressive thoughts come.
So I see you in the morning, it's just like that, my day's going to be awful. Just looking at her.
See? What have you done? Did you see that thought? Yeah. Wow. That's right. And you allowed somebody who's aggressive to spoil your life. Scary. You see, when you see the reality of it, you go home and you go, tomorrow I'm not doing that. Tomorrow when that thought comes, you're going to change it and use Pratyekshapakshapatana and think about somebody who makes your day feel great. You see, that's the knowledge. That's how it helps you with the practice. Okay, you might slip tomorrow because it's the first time you do it over 21 days, you change. You change because you realize why should you sacrifice your joy? You're aware. You're awake. You're not blaming. You're saying, I need to fix myself. I can't fix her. I can't fix her, so fix myself. And that's what you do.
But
all right?
I think I understand you very well. Because I started working 1 month and a half ago and I had
Yes.
paused that I just the bad feeling, the negativity around him is so deep that I was really disturbed. I didn't want to go in contact with him. It's like because you know that he's disturbing you. The aura is so bad.
Disregard.
But he's not disturbing you. Staying away for a long time, not seeing him, not talking to him, not having any contact. So it would ruin my day. And in the end, now I can come near, with the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I can ignore, and then I feel even compassion sometimes. Like
Yeah, you see, now you're applying Sri Patanjali, but you got to give it time.
Hard, so I need time.
Yes, you need, what do you need?
Patience.
Patience. Patience. And you see, but you have the tools. Right?
Yeah.
You have the tools.
Exactly.
Can you imagine people who don't have the tools? And I meet people, they hate people for 20 years and work with people they hate for 20 years. Can you imagine that's doing to their lives? They take it home, they destroy their family's life because they're so upset. And they're taking somebody's aggression and they're taking it to themselves and they're taking it home and they're destroying their whole life because of somebody at work. It's scary what I see in my life, some of the counseling I do. It's scary. And I tell them, oh my God, you better start liking your life a little bit more. You're getting old. Don't waste so much time on other people. Spend more time on your inner self. That's what meditation is all about. Make yourself whole. And like Gurudev said today, you chose the perfect one. Balance yourself first. And don't carry we like to carry everybody's sorrow on our shoulders. We can't. We're not God. We don't have that magic wand. We can love them. We can care for them. We can hold their hands. We can tell them this is wrong. We can give them advice. But we cannot do it for them. Do not carry what is yours unnecessarily. Please don't. You can't do it. Who do you think you are anyway? Don't play God. Yes.
Also, I have my own job now, which was Kim's job.
Yes.
And she already warned me for the boss. And I thought, okay, I'll just see what I can do. And yes, he is a complicated man. And
Good teacher.
but I know that he's actually, I've attracted apparently someone like that into my life again to learn something, because he's pressing my buttons. So what's happening? Okay, and then there's something. Those buttons are still working. I haven't dealt with them enough. So in these past 2 months, I've really started to regard him as a teacher. I'm thinking, wow, this issue that I still have lives in me, and he has come here to put the mirror up again to show me, hey, you've got to sort of polish those buttons again so that they just vanish. And so yeah, it's actually a very good learning ground. So maybe it's not just disregard, but also look, hey, which buttons is this person pressing in me? And why? And why do I feel that, you know? And then you know, you still disregard, but also a little bit of analysis.
Self-analysis.
Self-analysis. I think there's something still sort of tricky there. Yeah. And that's how I...
If you just
Yeah.
think of, very good, if you just think of all life as your teacher.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All life is teaching you. That's how much you are loved. Yes, Liz.
I was just wondering, could you do 1 quick minute on the karmas?
Yes, which karmas are you talking about?
These ones at the end, ones that you come in and you have so much karma to live, and then there's ones that you're waiting in the...
Oh, you know it very well.
I don't really.
Okay.
Being expressed through the birth, and then ones you're going to have to live, and ones that are waiting.
Yeah, she's asking a question. Okay, karmas is divided into 3 here just for the sake of ease, right? Let's say you are living your life now, right? You get the body you've got, the life you've got, the lessons you need to learn because of previous life. So we bring with us what we call some destiny, right? Because what we have sown, we have to reap. So that is called prarabdha karma, okay? That is, no matter what you do, there is some karma that you have sown, either in a previous life or even in this life, that you have to reap, because cause and effect. All right? I want you to see it very closely. One cannot live, let me finish a question. One cannot live without the other. For example, you cannot have a gold necklace without gold, right? You have to have gold in order to have a gold necklace, right? So in order to have this body, we must have come from something, right? So that's prarabdha. And so that is what we call destiny. You know, your destiny is mapped out. Then we have this moment, this very moment, which is
Agami.
Correct. And this is the only moment that we can change. Right? Now, let's say my karma, for example, right now, a year ago was to have the cyst in my liver and do it, right? And there's 2 ways I can do it. Oh, why me now? Da, 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 da. Or it can be, wow, great, time to rest. What's this teaching me? Compassion, understanding pain. Can I go through pain? So you can change by the way you think. And this is what Sri Patanjali is teaching us. And this is what all the spiritual books teach us. You know, and somebody says, why did this happen? I don't ask why, what. And, you know, people tell me it's your emotions. Another person say, oh, people use you. That's why you got parasites. As I don't have parasites. And why do you say people use me? I love people. They don't use me. They use me because I allow them to use me. They're not parasites. People giving me all kinds of things why I have this problem. Don't listen to any of it. Stick balance. It's happened. But if, why, this, that, it's happened. If there's anything emotional, that's the reason why it's happened, I'll find out by my meditation. I'll know. I'll know. And if it's karma, I'll also know. Can I do anything about it by knowing? No. What can I do? Practically enjoy the moment. That's it. Practical. All I can do is accept the moment. And not ask so many millions of questions and have people tell me millions of things. Oh, such a lot of nonsense. So, and I just think, oh, I'm so lucky. It happened in the liver. Wow, it's an organ of forgiveness. And it's a water cyst. So the answer came to me. This is how you work with it. Of course, tears for my husband. I'm finally letting him go. Deep inside. Deep inside. Outside I've let him go. But maybe my psyche, my vasanas or some scar is so deep when you love somebody so deeply. The inside of you is finally letting it go. So that was my answer. I got it, very happy, found it right, and it clicked with me. So agami is what you can do, okay? Now, and you get it for yourself. Nobody can tell you about your agami, please. Okay? Don't listen so much to anybody. Learn to follow your inner voice. Please, you'll go crazy. Trust me. Be really strong and listen to your inner voice. And then you've got Sanjita Karma. Now you see, because we've lived so many thousands of lifetimes that we don't even know about, and even in this one lifetime, if you think of how many horrible things you must have said or done without even knowing, out of ignorance, right? There's many, many more lifetimes that we still have to live in order to exhaust it all. So Sanjita is all the lifetimes that are yet to come. However, yoga is that science where if you are so focused on agami and you learn your lesson, you learn why you're here, you learn that you're spirit, you learn that you're soul, you realize all life is a divine play, then do you have to learn anything else? So even those that you carry now no longer, you've learned your lesson. So you freed yourself. So you don't need to do that. It's like if you go through university and you get your degree you get your BA in fine arts, let's say. You've got your BA. You've got it. Do you need to go back? No, you go forward if you want, but you don't go back anymore. You don't need to, it's done. So that's all that Sanjita is. Those are the three karmas. But agami is the most important because this is why all the great modern new age psychologists talk about be in the now. This is the new word, be in the now. The saints have said it for always. Be aware, be awake, arise, look at this moment. What's happening now? Everybody tells you, deal with now. Don't bring the past into now, you will be disturbed. So when you're going through a problem now and you fight with someone, you say, but you did this to me yesterday. No, yesterday is over, finished. Now. We can heal now. This a moment. You really have to. And what will the future bring? None of us know. So don't even bring the future in. Live now. And that's all we can do. And that's the magic of all these yoga practices. And the Bhagavad Gita tells us, just as man burns fuel into ashes, you see all that wood there? I put it in my fire, I burn it. After all, there'll be no more wood, right? So does the man of knowledge. With all your knowledge, you burn your karmas. Because you don't need to learn them. So, there's nothing for you to learn. You can go home now. Bye, folks. That's it. And that's as easy as it is. We complicate it with too much thought. So we can really focus on just this moment. And that's the training with the mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah. That's the training. That's the training with a deep relaxation. All the others, analysis of your mind. And then the yamas and niyamas, how you should live in this world. Because like a bird, we've got two wings. One to do the work, and one to fly with the divine. But we have one of knowledge, knowledge of the divine. They go hand in hand. You can't say, oh, I'm going to meditate, 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 and then don't live your life. Because life, you have to live life. Life is going to give you problems. This is the whole Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, such a great person, had a problem. What was the problem? He had to fight a war and he didn't want to fight it. And what did Lord Krishna tell him? Sorry, this has come to you. You don't want it, but it's come to you. So in this world you have to work. So your work is to protect your people. So you have to fight. But how do you fight? With divine knowledge. Love them. Your wish is not to kill anybody. Your wish is to save the people. Do you see? Are you understanding? Is it getting clear? And how he teaches him to deal with this huge problem is deal with the now. I know we're getting late, huh? No, I was thinking, let's just do the rehearsal on Saturday.
Yes.
It's no problem. We can do the rehearsal on Saturday.
A lot of people missing, Marion, there's a few missing anyway.
Yes, so let's do the rehearsal Saturday after your practical exam. Hmm? Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I know one reason why you got that cyst.
Why?
It was so much bigger than you, because your incredibly beautiful way of dealing with it, something that could have been deadly, it taught and inspired us so much. I tell you, that has moved out like this, because it's one way to speak, it's a totally different thing to act when you're in a situation like that, and you showed us the way to deal with it in a magnificent way.
Thank you.
So
it was great fun for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. It really wasn't bad. Look how well I am now.
I know.
I got 3 big holes, but I'm fine. I'm fine, really. But thank you. If I can help you that way, great.
You did.
It was,
You did.
know, my son came to visit, and his love was overpowering. It was really great to know all of you so kind prayers. So nothing is bad to me, really. It's just we have some time on earth, and and it's really nice to just, even in the bad moments, accept that it's all for good. Can do. Anything else we do makes us miserable. Anything else. So who are you making miserable in the end? Yourself. And when you really see that, and you really understand that at the end of the day, your jealousy, your anger, your blame, your laziness, your frustration is only hurting you. When you really understand that, you don't want to do it anymore. So my life is too precious. God's given me this life to live beautifully. Am I going to waste time? Am I going to waste my precious life going on and on about somebody else's problem? It's their problem. It may be your partner, but it's their problem. You try. Of course you nurture. Of course you love. Of course you give compassion. But you're not going to break your head in a brick wall. So you don't have to leave and be drastic and blame them and run away, because you can't do that either. Because if you wanted to do that, you would have done it. And when you can't do that either, then how do you live in that pain? By seeing as a teacher, and then work with, build up yourself, study, become more independent spiritually. Become more independent spiritually. You come alone, you're going to die alone. That's the truth.